look like superimposed. That's amazing.
It's not the most. It's an older laptop too.
That's all right. It's cool. Looks good, man. Well, look, man, I really appreciate you taking the time. We'll just kind of roll with this, and I got a couple things I want to ask, and it'll be mostly about you guys and the business and whatever else you guys want to talk about.
Cool.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So, hey everyone, this is John from the Bumbling Yeti. I have a special guest today, Kyle Master Nardo. Just a heads up, Kyle, I just ate Angelo's.
Tony.
Right. But you know, Kyle is one of four brothers who actually created Nardo's Naturals back in 2009. They developed their first jar of moisturizer in their parents' kitchen. It was right here in King of Prussia, right?
No, we're actually down here. We were in Florida. Actually, we were all staying at their condo.
Okay. All right. Well, but you have roots up here, which is good, right?
Absolutely.
Pretty awesome. So the way they got started was that one of the brothers sold their car for $6,000, and together they turned that into a multi-million-dollar company. So again, Kyle, I appreciate your time, and I'd like to kind of just give you a little heads up about what I like to do here. This is something brand new to me. I guess this is episode 14, I believe. I did 13 last night, but I'm trying to keep it in a kind of the feel of super positive about people's journeys. I really like to showcase small business. Now, you guys are still small business, but you guys have a platform that not a whole lot of people actually have, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I really just want to understand kind of what the journey was, from the time that first batch was made in the kitchen to selling the car to where you guys are now. So, yeah, man, I'm just super interested in how you guys got to where you at.
Cool. Well, I mean, it did start in 2009. We, one of the brothers, DJ, was just obsessed with coconut oil, and he wanted to do. He was involved with a cooking show, and he's like, we have Philadelphia roots, QVC, Westchester.
Sure.
On the street from us here in St. Petersburg, Tampa, Florida, is HSN #2. For televised sales. And he's like, I could just, Rachel Ray, these people are really doing well. This coconut oil, people don't know about it. I think at the time, about 5% of the population understood the benefits. That's it right there. It's crazy.
It's for this right here. So I actually reached out I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this is all coconut oil. I reached out to Danny, and he told me to get this stuff for my head, and it makes it moisturizes well.
I mean, at the time, DJ was like the only one that knew about this stuff compared to us. And we didn't know what it was. And I'm thinking if it turns liquid, it's going bad. We didn't know the properties and the benefits. And if you would have had a flat tire, he'd be like, it'll repair a flat tire. I mean, he was obsessed with this stuff. Everything you could think of, he was going with it. But mainly he was cooking, and he was cholesterol free. It's plant-based. It's from the copra, from the plant of the nut of the coconut itself, and it's cold pressed. So it's not a chemical process to extract the oil. Very healthy, a lot of benefits. Reason why we didn't know about it for a long time, though, is because the big networks out there, the big dogs, are trying to sell artificial butter and other sources. I'll put the bottom line dollar right there. But all of a sudden, coconut oil started really penetrating the market, which really was helpful for us because that was our key ingredient. But he wanted to do a cooking show, and we kind of looked at each other, and we noticed that he's been using it on his skin. We're down here in Florida, so we all agreed, let's do skincare. It's got good margins. We can get in the marketplace. We can do events. We don't need like a commercialized kitchen to do it at the time.
Sure.
So we got a picture. We didn't really have any much funding. My brothers did graduate college. One had a job in the corporate environment. Danny had a Jaguar, company living, great job. I mean, doing very well. But he looked at the clock. He said every day, and he's just like, I'm waiting for that 5 o'clock to get the heck out of here. Mm-hmm. He just wasn't happy. So we realized, let's just do it ourselves. Let's see what we can do. Put our heads together. We always wanted to work together either way. And we decided skincare it is. So we didn't even license our company yet, the division of corporations. We weren't registered. But I sold my car. It was a Honda S2000. Got $6,000. We blew through that real quick. But we at least got our company licensed. We ordered some material, jars. And if you can just envision, we have a Gatorade jug, and we're slow melting coconut oil on the stovetop. And we're pouring it in the jug. We're putting a little bit of lavender in there for the aroma, and we're hand filling 2,000 jars in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah. Now, that's an amazing story because I actually can imagine that because I actually grew up in a manufacturing environment. So here in King of Prussia, I worked for John Middleton making the cigars and stuff. So I
So,
understand the packaging aspect of it, but that's a great visual, I think, for me and obviously for everyone else out there who's listening. That's awesome.
I mean, it just shows the infancy stages. We are just not aware of any of the standards, any of the regulation that's out there today. I mean, zero compliancy. But it was, just by the seams of your pants. I mean, just go for it. We knew though the product was working because prior our friends would come over. People would just come and take the bottles from us,
Right.
and we actually went to a farmer's market, and we knew that for $40 you could go there, set up a table and a tent, and see what you can do. So that was actually where our first transaction took place. Someone came up to us and purchased a jar for $20, and it was at our local farmers market right down the street from our home.
That's pretty crazy. So do you actually remember, like, do you know who the first person was?
We do.
Do you
Yeah.
stay in touch with them?
We do, absolutely. They're actually still customers today.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a community that was there to support us early on. I mean, we go by the 4 M's, and as you know, our father's a police officer. My mother's a nurse.
Right.
It wasn't like we had Middleton as a father to help us with a business background.
Sure.
A lot of mistakes were made, but we had a tremendous amount of support from our parents. But it wasn't, hey, Dad, I need an answer about these net terms on this new invoice, PO I just received. And, so we did learn a lot of it ourselves, but there were resources in our community we went to. We took free courses with the Small Business Association, and there we developed our business plan. And the 4 M's, first was the money. I sold the car. We had some seed funding. Then we had management. Believe it or not, we do get along, even though there's 4 of us running around. Right. But we realized, Danny, you do the marketing. DJ, you do shipping, logistics. I'll handle some of the other stuff, and you do the other things here and there. And we were able to not step on each other's toes. But number 3 was marketing. And we literally cut that word in half and went to a farmer's market. We didn't have the money to go market and do a Super Bowl commercial. Right. It just wasn't possible. So we did it with very low, a lot of sweat equity, but low expense.
Right. So I guess it kind of goes along with the whole organic approach, right? So everything you did was kind of grassroots, organic. You start at the very basic level, and then so in the beginning, was it a lot of word of mouth? Is that how the marketing kind of went?
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, the first few months, we maybe did about $30,000 in sales. We were more or less excited to just get the brand going. We already hit a roadblock after about, I think, month 2. We originally were Angel Organics, not knowing that was a trademark name. So immediately cease and desist. Our attorney said, what you guys do? You guys make some labels and business cards. Let's quickly change this. And we asked for advice. And he said, sometimes if it's related to who you have a little more of a defense. And that could go a long way down the road. So we said, okay, you can't put Master Nardo on the label. Let's cut
it. A little too long.
So we used Nardo, and Danny came up with the name Nardo's Nap. And then we're on a desktop computer in a 2-bedroom condo. Me and Danny shared a room, and we're drawing our logo in that paint program, the free program they give you with the computer.
That's awesome.
That was the logo back then. That's what we did.
Right. Yeah. That's, I think back and I understand that whole aspect of the trademark and copyright. I get all that. I actually have this business here. I'm like, I can never stop in my mind. That's why I love, like, I would listen to stories that you guys have all day long. So I actually, just super quick, I had this logo, and then it's called Aqua Rhino, which is like a brand, a positivity brand. But there was a company in England that came after me and said, oh, this is directly competing. And they wanted me to not to be able to sell like any shirt over this, like a large. And I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't even be able to wear my own clothes. I'm like, I'm a fat guy. I don't know what to do. But yeah, so I do understand that part. But you learn very, very quickly when you get a letter from a lawyer.
I researched right after that, and I realized we have in Tampa Ironman, the triathlons.
Sure.
they pay a royalty to Marvel Comics because there's a man that shows strength and there's a relationship there that they see that correlation and feel they deserve a part of it.
Right.
So there's ways to work it out, and I'm sure a lot of companies do. For us, we said let's just start fresh, clear the slate, clear the slate, and then we'll use part of our name and see what happens from there.
Right. So you guys get going, and you go through some of those trials and tribulations. After the first like 6 months or so, you guys start to see some money coming in. So what was, I guess, kind of what was your breakthrough in maybe in your first year or so that you guys had?
It was, what the big topic is with our story, which is, it's always being plastered out there was, we had the money from starting out. We had some money coming in from sales to, two of us were still working full time, but we were building the knowledge, the foundation to the business. We knew we could see it down the road. It just wasn't going to happen overnight. We developed a few corporate accounts, and we're in Florida. People come to visit here and they go home. Mm-hmm. We have an online store. So we developed a corporate account with the largest, nicest hotel on the beach, 5-star, diamond hotel, the top of the top. We spent all of our time and energy with that hotel because they're related to multiple other locations. And if we become a preferred vendor, that's our ticket.
Right.
Other people can't do that. They don't live across the street. We were literally 9/10 of a mile from this hotel. We would come in and do demos. We'd hang out with the staff, give away free products. We came up with every guest that checks in gets a little business card. It costs 3 cents to print. And that card would say, visit the spa, redeem a free gift from the Nardo's Natural Brothers.
Right.
It got them to the spa, which created an opportunity for a transaction for them to buy our product.
Right. So I guess at that point where you guys were trying to help, you were promoting that spa.
Yeah.
And at the same time, just trying to, generate that and foster that relationship.
Once we got into that resort, then the smaller spas for the business to business relationships were saying to themselves, where if they're in the Don Cesar hotel, then why am I not carrying their product?
Right.
We know it. We started getting phone calls. And I remember when a customer called me and I said, I did visit your place about 6 months ago and you didn't have much interest. She goes, yeah, but we've had some staff and some turnover and some changes here. Can one of the guys come on over and we'll be happy to look at some pricing in the products.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's crazy, man. When you get one person takes interest, and we'll get into it a little bit more later, but you guys have had some pretty I guess you've been pretty fortunate, we'll say.
I'm not gonna say so much fortunate, but Thomas Jefferson, I'm a firm believer in luck, but the harder you work, the more you get. And if you get creative, which, another Albert Einstein, man, creativity is more important than knowledge. With creativity, you can do anything. And we would even sometimes say, I got to run. I got to go see, a competitor's hotel. And then they would say, well, we'll just wait. Okay, we'll put the PO in. And it's all about a little bit of leverage, a little bit of mind tricks. But at the end of the day, we believed in our product. If our product was on the shelf and they understood the benefits, it will sell.
Yeah. But, it's funny because the growth I think that you guys have had, and look, I've been following you guys. So you're an Upper Merion alum, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm an Upper Merion alum. So I graduated in 97. So I'm not that far, I guess. Well, when you look at it, I was in the 90s, you were in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
But, we have a lot of the same friends in common, like the Antonucci's. Like,
absolutely.
I grew up with them. Matter of fact, I had Chris on here a couple weeks ago, just about growing up. But yeah, man, this story, you guys have an amazing story. And that's really what I want to get out there is the fact that, hard work, perseverance, and if you really believe in something, and the hardest part is starting, right? Would you say that that's pretty accurate?
The number one thing is most people give up too soon, but there's only so much some people can take. I was able to carry the load with three other heads. I had 3 other brothers to help out. When I felt down, they picked you up. I really attribute the success to people that do it themselves because it's extremely challenging.
Yeah.
But that's the entrepreneurial spirit, though. I mean, you believe and believe and believe. I can never go back and do what we did again. I mean, there was 4 years living in a warehouse, in We said, if we live here, we can save the money that we'd spend on rent and put it in the business. The mistakes we made or some of the, the beginning, time. But now with all that experience, we can go back and do it quicker the right way and skip some of those mistakes easily. But, I would never change it for anything. No.
Right. So in the spirit of that, you talk about, hey, you got into this place and, I guess the word of mouth started taking place and people started recognizing the name and the brand and how great the products were. So for people like me and other people out there who are trying to get something off the ground, what would you say the ratio of no's to yeses were?
It was far apart. I mean, you just got to remember some of these people are being pitched every day. Yeah. Products. But what we did, everything we did, be creative, stand out. And that's what everybody always says. No matter what it was, I remembered you guys, or I remembered something you did to get yourself on top of that list of either applications or, the samples that were sent. I mean, you always hear these stories, but if you blend in, you'll never get be noticed.
Right. Yeah. And I think you guys are still the face. Like, you're still the face. It's still the brothers who show up, and it's still, I mean, I follow you guys on Instagram and, Facebook and all that other kind of stuff. It's still you guys. Like, you're proud of the brand, and it's something that you guys have created. And, whatever, you have your trade secret stuff, which I'm super into that kind of stuff, like, trade secret stuff, and, really would set you apart. But whether it's process or ingredients or whatever the case may be. So I'm really proud of you guys, man.
And, you can reverse engineer our formulas and create the exact recipe that we have. Unfortunately, you can add one ingredient. The intellectual property is really not there for the product. But once you have it and you have a high retention rate with your customers, when you have that low acquisition, you have time to do other things, be creative. But we still answer phone calls, customer service. We have customers stop by the facility regularly. But if you love what you do, you don't mind it. And trust me, nowadays we get quite a bit more time off than we used to. We have other, quality individuals in place to help out with things that we used to do, so we're not wearing so many hats. But right now, it's a very well-oiled machine. But we also just celebrate our 11th year in business.
Not many people can say that.
It's if you would have asked me, I would have probably said, yeah, we'll be there. But realistically, those numbers were against us.
Right. Yeah. So would you guys consider your brand like a more of a boutique brand, or like, okay, so are there any, I mean, obviously you can only disclose what you're willing to disclose, but like, what are your plans going forward? Are you looking to be, to just build on that boutique kind of brand and stay with I guess a core consumer that you have now, or are you looking to branch out? Or
so our business, to give you an idea, we have 3 revenue streams. 1, online e-commerce. With our website, we can sell to direct end users. It's direct to consumer. Anybody can buy on our website, shop, pick out what they like. In a few days, it arrives to your doorstep. Good margins, and you get to build a nice customer base, which is very, very valuable down the road.
Right.
Number 2, we have another website. It's our business to business website, nardosnaturalwholesale.com.
Yep.
This is our website for spa owners all across the country, even outside the country. They log on, they unlock the pricing after they're approved, and they can purchase our products anywhere between 50 to 60% off. And then there's giveaways. But they buy in bulk, they put the product in their store, and now they represent our brand.
Right.
And that's a good way to deal with people that, like how we were when we first started. They're single business owners. They may have 2 or 3 locations, and they pay up front. So we don't have to float any terms.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And also we have people that shop 3, 4, 5 in the morning. They're entrepreneurs like ourselves. They're running their own business. We don't force them to have high minimums, and we're very flexible with them, and it works out really well. The last revenue stream is we've grown to a point where now we realized if we order enough volume, we can offer our products to other people, and they can put their name on it. It's through a private label, white label program, which is an unbelievable experience.
So are you guys doing all that for them? So like graphic work and all that?
Graphic is in-house. We have a wonderful team. Obviously we have our disclaimers that we can't, do trademarking and things like that for you, but we do graphic design assistance with your order. It's pretty much a one-stop shop. And we have developed over a few hundred brands. And I have customers that started off with, a few hundred items now, selling through 2,500 pieces a month. And it's amazing. And they're doing this through Amazon and different outlets on TV or different outlets on digital. And, some individuals just have their own little corner store at at a resort that they want to just sell products in their shop.
So do you guys, I guess, again, for someone like me, so say I was interested in creating a lip balm line, is that something I could come to you guys for to do, or would I have to have like an established,
No.
I guess there have to be criteria that I have to fill, or as long as, I have a brand and all that stuff, we're good to go?
EIN number. We are a resale certificate. We don't charge you tax. You go online, you can purchase the product on our website. You can even upload your own logo and your label on our website, and it ships to you in 14 days.
Okay. And is that with all your products?
For the most part. And that's under the Nardo's Natural private label.com.
Okay.
So, keep it simple. Nardo's Natural end users. Nardo's Natural wholesale.com is for business to business. Nardo's Natural private label is for anybody that's looking to introduce their own brand.
Okay, nice. And you guys do shipping worldwide, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have it. We also have an agency that helps with that, for import and exporting taxes and things like that, and they can arrange for those shipments.
Nice. So, what would you say in the lifestyle, or I guess the lifespan of the business? What was the biggest thing to happen to you guys as a company?
Well, in a positive way was the Shark Tank experience.
Right.
In the most negative way was obviously the loss of a brother.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
We were working in the office, our first office, a friend of mine, he was the manager of a small complex that has, subleases out for businesses. There might be an attorney in there or, a court reporter, not a big facility, but he had an oversized closet. He knows we want to get out of the house. Pretty much called up my younger brother, Danny, and said, "You guys want the spot?" And he goes, "Absolutely." So we're in about maybe a 300 square foot, little room. And we're working in there, and we get a phone call from the youngest brother. "You guys got to see this show, Shark Tank." And we're like, "What, scuba gear?" We have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So he sends us an email link. We start watching it, and we're looking at each other like, we have a product. We have good fan base that like what we have. This is exposure. This is everything you need to get out there. This is a huge commercial. So that night we actually applied.
That's pretty interesting. So obviously you guys went on, you ended up getting a deal with Barbara, right?
Yeah.
Is Barbara still involved?
Yeah. She actually just messaged me yesterday. She's great.
By the way, she is my favorite person on that entire show.
She's cool.
Yeah.
Damon's a good friend. I actually talked to him today. We're working on a massive project together. Lori, I've met a few times. It's a great program. Barbara, allowed us to retain a large percent of our business, and we've had a wonderful relationship with her since day one. She, we go on the show, it's a handshake. Mm-hmm. Following the show, we get a due diligence packet, and we evaluate their terms. They evaluate our terms, and you go back and forth. And then we finally agreed to what made sense for us. And, and she's been great to work with.
So was it really a sticking point that she wanted to change the name? She
told us afterwards, and she's like, "Look, how many times did I plug your name? They're not going to forget it." But, you got to remember that you come from New York, you see these names out there. The first time you hear Nardo's, you don't know what you're in for. And I said, "Look, it's very important to us. Our grandfather came here from Italy. He started a business, Nardo's Threads. And, it's something that we hold dear to our heart." And she said, "We don't ever talk about it again. I like it. Let's make it a household name." Right. And, you could do that with anything. Who would have thought Ferrari is what Ferrari is today and things
right. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. Or, any. Yeah. Any of those brands. So, obviously since Shark Tank and Barbara. So I guess, you mentioned Damon, you mentioned Lori. So you say you're working on something with Damon?
Yeah. Well, I just talked to Damon today. He's kind of getting some news today about the facial masks that are going around for this pandemic. And I just said, he was down here not too long ago visiting Florida. We went out to dinner, and his character is unbelievable. I mean,
Right.
this guy, he even said, guys, I'm not going to do business with you, but you remind me of myself when I was younger. I've never heard of a sour business deal with Damon, and he's done thousands of deals.
Right. Yeah. I actually follow him.
Yeah, the media can just twist stuff. Things don't seem as fair. And when you're at that level, they want to plug you any way they can. And
Right.
it's unfortunate that the media takes advantage of those situations.
Right. So I think, from my perspective, that's interesting because you would think, I guess, at that level in entrepreneurial spirit, because realistically, they're all self-made people, right?
Yeah.
None of them were really handed anything, none of them. And I find it so interesting. 'Cause, like, Damon, thinking about it, that makes a lot of sense because he was a clothing guy to begin with. That was kind of where he got his deal at, right? But I just find it amazing that it sounds like you just network and network and network and network. And, I guess like-minded people always are going to gravitate towards each other, which is amazing. And I guess that just opens more opportunities.
We never thought we'd be doing sanitizer. In the last 2 weeks, we've had conversions of sanitizers that are just unbelievable numbers.
Yeah. So let's talk about that real quick, because obviously we're in this, coronavirus pandemic right now. And, a lot of people have been asked to try to be innovative and find ways to, to help, whether it's with masks or whether it's with hand sanitizer. Right. So tell me a little bit about that and how that ended up coming to fruition.
Sure. In this type of scenario, you need any resource you can possible. So right now you hear about these distilleries. They have the equipment. They have the alcohol. If they do a few other things that make sense, they can then create a product, which is needed right now in this market. So the government steps up and says, you guys can do this short term. But if you do 80% alcohol in a product, it's pretty much going to kill anything.
Right.
It's hydrogen peroxide, alcohol, glycerin, and water. Not the best formula out there, but effective. Normally, for me to produce that product, our regulatory process would be months.
Yep.
But they're saying right now, just get it out there. Let's see what we can do. Let's stop this virus from spreading.
Right.
The government stepped in, and with our company, we have packaging that we do outsource outside the country, and our orders are on hold. The government's taking those over and sending them to facilities that are producing sanitizer, like maybe P&G and Johnson & Johnson.
Sure. Yeah.
We understand it's an effort for this, this to come to an end. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
The sanitizer we have packaging, we have the resources. The reason why we didn't produce it before is because it carries ingredients and chemicals we don't usually stock. However, with our relationships, I was able to get my hands on totes and gallons and drums of this product. 3-4 days later, we have hundreds of gallons of sanitizer being ordered and also donated.
Right. Yeah. Because I saw you guys were out at, I guess you were at the hospitals donating a lot of that stuff. And,
yeah,
I guess people were buying it and then donating it, I guess.
It was unbelievable. We have an online platform where the distilleries don't have. You have to come pick it up.
Right.
In this crisis, they're the only ones that, probably have a lot of the alcohol. It's not like we stock alcohol.
Yeah.
So we're realizing they're getting bottlenecked. And then you have people showing up that should not be, contaminating an environment. So with our online platform, we're able to offer a specialist shipping, and we show that proceeds are going towards this cause. We had people shop and say, I do not want the gallon. I just wanted to, convert the transaction. Please send it to this hospital. I probably sent several gallons to hospitals throughout Pennsylvania from people that I think just know our family and know that we would be good for. But what's amazing is people that never met us before that were doing that, in the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's times like this, you do see sometimes the light.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very admirable what you guys do and how you did it. Right. So it wasn't, I guess it was thinking outside the box and trying to come up with a solution. Right. And that's what you guys are doing every day. You're trying to come up with something that provides a solution for someone, whether it's, a bald guy like me who shaves his head and needs a little bit of moisturizer on it, or, Lip-Balm. I actually have, I ordered a ton of them. I started giving them out at work and everything. And you guys are super generous. And I don't want to get past that point, because as entrepreneurs, I see what you guys are out there doing, And I see that you have, this business, you get a lot of really good reviews and you're out there making these different moves and whatnot. So, again, man, I'm super proud of you guys as being from.
Yeah. I mean, I give that to our parents though, man. My dad, my mom, and I mean, look, it's sometimes you want to have some fun. I mean, I sold the car. My brothers gifted me a few times over for that deal because there was no guarantee you're gonna get that money back. I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's a risk, but our parents keep it humble. They ground us. I remember early on, we took a piece of composite. It was a piece of plastic board. We drilled out all these holes. That was the diameter of the Lip-Balm tube. You stick the tube up through the holes. We build a track around this board. We're melting in a double boiler the wax, the oil, the formula, pouring it out. It goes into tubes. It cools. At Home Depot, we got one of the spatula, putty knife, shaving it down. My dad looked at me and he's like, how many can you do in a day? Dad, we can do a couple hundred. He's like, what price are you selling for? I mean, he literally broke it down to me, and I was so deflated because I realized all this work is for literally next to nothing.
Right.
So, that's how early and how juvenile we were when we started. But because of those moments, you sit back and you laugh about it. Now, 250,000 lip balms in a week, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even the equipment you can operate. It's not even a blink of the eye. But I mean, back in the day, you think about where you come from is, I think, why we still kind of keep it the way it is today.
Yeah. Look, do you guys have pictures of all this stuff?
Yeah, we got so cool.
So, I mean, that's really what it comes down to, right? So 20, 30 years from now, when you guys are, sitting on a beach somewhere or whatever, you're going to be able to, I mean, you have this story that you're going to be able to pass along. Like you were talking about what Nardo's threads, be able to pass those stories down for generations. And that's the amazing thing. And actually, that's why I started this podcast was started out of me just wanting to interview my own family members. So people, I mean, we have this technology, right? So you're in Florida right now. I'm in Pennsylvania and we're talking face to face. So that's how this was started, out of just an idea of saying, I would like for my great grandkids to be able to see who I am now and my personality and hear my voice and all that. So that's the whole recording piece, but turn into something different. And me saying, I don't sleep at night because I think about all these different things I can do. Right. So you see back here, I have the golf bag that I had a company with. I actually sent Danny a driver because you guys did me a solid.
He's pretty upset. He was actually scheduled to play at the Vast Bar at Pro Am, and he was
really
take a couple swings with that club.
Yeah.
And with this situation, they weren't able to do it.
So you guys are actually in Tampa, right?
Tampa Bay.
Okay.
We kind of made it so all of us live about 15 minutes apart.
Okay. So
this is kind of right there in the middle for the headquarters.
Do you take the limo back and forth, or?
It's right down in my backyard.
That is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of getting tired of the Uber situation. We do a lot of events together, and I was like, they know my whole life I wanted, a limo. So I was like, for someone that has quite a few cars, I was like, I don't really like to drive too much. And it's been so much fun. We took it out this past weekend, but you got to be, a few people at a time. It's a lot of fun, but you should see the Christmas parties and the holiday parties we do with it.
I'm sure it's amazing. I'm sure it's great. But so I guess on the personal side, you guys do a lot of boating down there.
Yeah, I'm in a boat club. For me, growing up in Pennsylvania and not really having any boating experience, it's been a good way to introduce myself to the water. And obviously, when you start to get in the business environment in this area, you do donations, you go to, different foundations, you meet a lot of the right people.
Right.
It's like nothing now to go out on someone's 100-foot yacht, 75-foot yacht. Growing up, I would never think of this stuff. I mean, if I was on a canoe, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I had that revelation when I worked in tobacco. I don't work there anymore, but
yeah.
I helped open a manufacturing plant in the Dominican Republic, and I came back on the corporate jet, which was the G450. It was like the coolest thing ever. I checked that off, and I remember walking out on the tarmac with the CEO at the time, being like, "Yeah, this doesn't happen to people like me. Like, I grew up in West Country when it was poor, bro. Not what it is now." But yeah, that's interesting. So I have one of my really good friends and my like a life mentor actually lives down there in Tampa. He lives I forget where it's at, but like his neighbors are like all the athletes and stuff. I think Marcus Stroman's one of his
Yeah.
neighbors. But
Ron moved into. I mean, Brady just moved into Derek Jeter's home.
Okay.
Gronk just signed yesterday. So I mean, we didn't even script any of this, but the limo. March 6th is Nurse Week, and we're taking nurses to and from work for the week.
That is like the greatest thing. You guys, you have to get video of that.
Yeah, it's really, it's going to be a really cool experience. I have other businesses that are paying it forward too with a lot of different stuff, but they're going to get some gift packages, some free, services at the hair and nail salons. And, we have different hospitals that are going to reward us to a special individual that's been going through this pretty tough time right now.
That's awesome, man. That is, you guys are you're doing such good stuff. Like, you probably don't I'm sure you realize it, but even from an outsider's perspective, and I've never met you guys in person. I'm sure we cross paths at some point, but again, it's about getting your story out and the message of what you guys are trying to do, and you're doing things. You might be we'll just say a skincare company, but you guys are way, way more than that. So I guess that's a message I wanted to get out to people, and hopefully everyone sees that and understands that. So, so what's next for you guys? What's coming down the road?
I mean, individually, we're all kind of doing some of our own things now, which is kind of fun and exciting, because, you get to a point too where you can, do you want to do this project together? Nah, take it. You go work on that, and it's nice that we all support each other with that. I mean, honestly, the business is just so sustainable. It's such a nice feeling that, hey, I'm going to be doing this for the next 3 days. You guys okay? Yes. Now my laptop will be with me. It'll be nonstop, phone communication, but operations can handle themselves. I'll tell you, man, everybody's doing great. I mean, DJ, Danny, my parents come by here and there. Mom brings lunch. My dad will count bottles in the warehouse just to stay busy.
Right.
But, their favorite thing is just to go out and swing the clubs. They try to get out about 3-4 days a week. They love it. And that's the thing that pays off. You get the freedom when you get to a place that your business is running itself efficiently, and you double check everything to make sure someone's not doing things, not properly, to get yourself in a jam. But that comes with a lot of thick skin from a lot of experience. I mean, lawsuits, major mistakes on our end that cost us tens of thousands of dollars. But that's the road you travel.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome, man. And again, I appreciate this more than you know. My whole goal is to try to just get people's names out there and what they're about. And, I hope that people understand that by buying from a company like you guys, someone who's grassroots, who's started literally, pouring out of a pan in a kitchen, trying to come up with these different ideas. I think that's admirable, and I hope people recognize that and support small business, because without small business like you guys,
makes up 95% of our country.
Right.
And I mean, we're losing retail business every day, brick and mortar. So people have to start thinking about what trends are out there. There's a lot of opportunity right now with what's going on. You got to see it. If you have after the show or during the show, if you want to put a little thing out there and have someone reach out to you, I'll let you pick who they are. Just shoot me the address and the name, and we'll send them out a gift package from the brothers.
Yeah, man. Maybe we'll do a giveaway or something like that. That would be cool.
Absolutely.
I'll utilize that maybe to get some more subscribers, right? So people can listen to my stupid voice and my big fat head on the screen.
Start somewhere, man.
But yeah, man. Again, I really appreciate it, and give my best to your brothers and your family. And when I make it down to Tampa, I'll reach out and
let us know before you arrive. We'll pick you up.
That would be the most hilarious thing ever. That would be the greatest. I might just fly down just to be driven around and fly back home. The fares are cheap enough.
Some spring training games this year, though.
Oh yeah. So do you guys still have the relationship with David Price?
Yes, it's not a business relationship, but still friends. Danny will sit there and play games, and I hear them talk shit to each other on
That's the
over the head.
best. That's the
He's a
best.
hell of a guy, though. I mean, to throw the first pitch out at a professional baseball game, and not only just to throw it to someone, but David go in the catcher's box and catch it for you. We always give you a hard time, like how can you miss a 6'6" target? But it just shows you how cool he was. He's a good dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And again, I'm happy for you guys. I followed you guys and from the business, I guess, from when I found out that you guys started it, because it was all word of mouth here. King of Prussia is super tiny when you think about it. And
A couple of years. I mean, I don't think we turned a profit for about 4 years.
right.
I mean, it was a grind, and then we had a really good quarter, third quarter, and then fourth quarter. We did a wire transfer for quite a bit of material for fourth quarter expenses, and that was a fraudulent account that we could not retract the payments. So we had 4 really tough fourth quarters in a row. But like I said, it's all experience. It thickens the skin.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that sucks. I hate people that steal shit. It's a mate. Yeah, I could go on a terrible tangent right now and use every word in the book. But yeah, man, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy guy, and I hope that everyone down there staying safe and what you guys are doing to help people out, and the hand sanitizer thing and whatever else you guys have come down the road. I just hope that people really continue to support you guys, and maybe more people start to support you just on the sheer fact that
also support more USA made products.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We'd be eliminating a lot of stuff that's going on right now if it was more USA made products.
If people only realized how little it takes to actually do a little bit of research and actually buy to that aspect. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate it again, and I guess I'll just kind of close this out. You have any questions for me?
Well, how many podcasts have we done so far?
This is 14.
Nice.
So I'm trying to do
his number.
What's that?
Bro, it was Price's number.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe you can tell him to get on here. So listen, I'm trying to get Joe Blanton on here. Of all people.
Be creative, man. You never know. You throw a few darts, one will stick, man.
That's exactly it. So he actually owns a winery out in California, which is crazy. But anyway, that's my problem, not yours. But yeah, man, again, everyone, this is John at the Bumbling Yeti. My guest today, again, Kyle Nardo from Nardo's Naturals. He and his brothers put this company together. If you can, go out, check out their website, all their social media stuff. Take a little bit of time to understand their story. There's a lot of documentation out there on it. And if you can maybe check out YouTube for their Shark Tank story, it's super interesting. And again, Kyle, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, man.